If you have hip tightness, even some discomfort around your knee, IT band problems, then I ensure you have a very tight inner thigh, and that tightness equals weakness. So we want to not only gain some flexibility of our inner thigh, but we also want to activate that tissue so that it can function so much better in stabilizing our knee and our hip at the pelvis. It's part of your core stabilizing system. So let's get that going. For this training, we're just going to be sitting on the ground, and I want to review a few modifications for you. There are two reasons why you may want to use a bolster or folded up towels or blankets. The first is going to be that you have a lot of hip tightness, or you've had a hip replacement and you don't have full available range of motion in your hips. We're going to be holding a static stretch for 2 minutes, so you want to make sure that you're in a safe position and comfortable. So the bolster or anything that's going to lift you up off the ground is going to open up the front of your hip space and just make that much more comfortable if you're really tight. Now, if you have hypermobility and a lot of motion around your joints, sometimes sitting on the floor doesn't give you enough space underneath your knee here in order to experience a stretch. So if that's the case, sitting up on something is going to allow you more space under the outside of the knee so that you can use blocks to now press those knees down and get a really deep stretch that you often struggle to experience. All right, so you're going to set yourself up on the floor. If you can, put the bottom of your feet together. If you find yourself leaning forward as part of that stretch experience, just make sure you keep your chest up so that your lower back stays neutral and you're not rounding through that lower back. We want to really focus that experience right into our hips, so you can even grab your ankles, press those elbows in, keep that chest up as you lean forward. Now that you've found your set position, let's hold this stretch for 2 minutes. I like to incorporate some breath work while we're holding our extended static stretches. It helps to calm our nervous system, prepare the tissue, allows everything to relax that much more effectively. So let's take a breath in for a count of 4, and if you can do this through your nose, that is ideal. So take a breath in for a count of 4. Fill up that belly, and now you're going to breathe out for a count of 8, nice and slow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to take my blocks away and actually grab onto my ankles and press down my elbows to get a little deeper and lean forward. I was losing my stretch experience as it was opening up. All right, let's take a breath in for a count of 4. Breathe out for a count of 8. Breathe in for 4. Let that rib cage expand. Breathe out for a count of 8. Breathe in for 4. And out for 8. In for 4. And out for 8. In for 4. And out for 8. Make sure you keep deepening into your stretch experience as the tissue allows, as it relaxes. All right, so we're going to stay here. I don't want you to move. Now we're first going to work directly on our hip joint capsule, working to activate those tissues. You're going to think about first activating in the front of the hip joint and then the back. We'll do both sides together. It'll be easier for you to experience the front than the back because the front is the shortened tissue. So it's just going to be a little bit easier to activate. So do your best with the back. As you gain more experience, you'll feel that more specifically. So we're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to set our core. We're going to stiffen up or irradiate and create an isometric contraction of the rest of our body as a set foundation so that we can really try to target that deep, deep tissue. Okay? So let's take a nice deep breath in. Fill up that belly as you let that breath out. Draw in underneath your belly. Tighten up the rest of your body as much as you can. Now both of your hips, we're going to do the same time. Tighten up the front of that hip joint. 1, 2, 3, and relax. Now you shouldn't have a lot of motion. If you're really in the end range here, that you've been in as deep a stretch as possible, there shouldn't be any motion as you're trying to target that tissue. Let's move on to the back. Take a nice deep breath in. As you let your breath out, set that core, draw it in, tighten up the rest of your body. Now get the back of that hip joint capsule for 1, 2, 3, and relax. Just do the best you can. All right, let's do 2 more for each side. Take a breath in. Set your full irradiation. Get the front of the hip joint. 1, 2, 3, and relax. Reset. Safest and greatest, contract everything in your body. Get the back of your hip joint. 1, 2, 3, and relax. 1 more, breath in. Reset. Safest and greatest, contract the front. 1, 2, 3, and relax. That's the last one, breath in. Set that full, safest and greatest, your maximum irradiation. Get the back of the hip joint. Really feel that tissue. 1, 2, 3, and relax. Okay, so from this position, my max end range for that stretch is with my knees out this far, but I'm also leaning forward into it with my back straight. My chest is up. I want to create a little bit of space. I don't want to be in a full end range here, so I'm actually just going to sit up a little bit. What we're going to do here is some hovers. So we'll do 1 side at a time, and we're going to do 3 on each side. We're going to actually lift the leg up. So you're going to use your hands to lift the leg up in this position. We're going to set a full irradiation. So we'll take that breath in, set our core, tighten up everything else in our body as a foundation, and you're going to let go of the leg and try not to let it fall down, okay? If it begins to fall, you're going to make sure that you're controlling that motion, okay? You're not just going to let it flop down there. All right, so setting our leg in this position here, we're going to take a nice deep breath in, draw in your core, set a foundation, tighten everything else up in your body to help you, and keep that leg up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and control it down, okay? Ideally, you see my knee was above my ankle there when I let go. Ideally, we're going to try to keep that ankle at the same level as the knee. I obviously also have some work to do. Okay, so take a breath in. Set that full, maximum, safest, and greatest irradiation, and hold that ankle up here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and control it down. Okay, last one on this side. Lift up that ankle. Let's reset. Full irradiation, tighten everything up, and hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and control it down. Good. If you could notice on the last one, I was leaning back a little bit more, so I was opening up my space. I'm going to do that for this other side as well. It just makes it a little bit easier the more space you have open here, okay? So let's hold that ankle up on our other side. Take a nice deep breath in. As you let that breath out, draw in that core under your belly button, tighten everything else. The leg, everything in your body is going to stiffen. Hold that ankle up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and control it down. Good job. You're getting the hang of this now. It's really hard, but so good for us. Okay, hold that ankle up. Take a breath in. As you let that breath out, stiffen everything up, set that full, maximum, safest and greatest irradiation, and let go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and control it down. You can see I have the shakes in holding and activating that tissue. It needs this work, so important. All right, last one. Grab your ankle, lift it up, take a breath in. As you let that breath out, set that foundation, your fullest, safest, and greatest, and hold that ankle up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and control it down. Good job. for our next activation is going to be some hinging at the knee from this position. Now I'm going to turn my body just so you can see it a little bit easier what I'm doing here. I'm actually going to lean back as to open up the space even further for better control. You can use the yoga blocks if you need to put your hands on just to have something to lean against. Again, you want to keep your spine as straight as possible. Okay, so from here, we're going to pull our feet away from us just a little bit to open up that space a little bit more, just to make it that much more doable. You want to maintain your base position. Don't move around. Control is the key. All right, slow movement. It might be a little shaky, but you're going to work and try to make it as slow and controlled as possible. All right, so let's take a full deep breath in. As you let that breath out, set that irradiation as much as possible. We're going to work this right leg first. You're going to lift it up. Keep the knee right where it is, and we're going to open up with some straightening of the knee. Go as far as you can. See, I'm starting to shake there, trying to get that little bit. The more you irradiate, the more you're going to be able to make some change there and really push it. And we're going to bend that back in. You're going to do a light tap of the heel. Then we're going to do 2 more. So remember, try to keep that knee right where you had initially set it. If you want to set your other hand there as a guide so it's not moving around, that's really helpful. Use that stiffening of the rest of your body to help you get as far into that straightening of the knee as possible. Start activating that quad and all the other structures. Good. Tap that heel, lift, and go right back into that third knee extension here. Good. Use your irradiation to help you. Good job. I'm talking to myself just as much as I am guiding you. Okay, control it in. When you hit that point, that's when you're going to relax. Okay, now let's go to the other side. So 3 knee hinges here. Okay, take a breath in. Set your full, safest and greatest irradiation. Stiffen up the rest of your body. Lift that left leg. You flex your foot ankle there. It's just going to help you. Keep that knee right where you set it as we extend out. So use the stiffness in the rest of your body to help you. Go as far as you can and then control it back. Smooth, slow, controlled motion. Tap, extend. Good. Got some good work going here. Try not to move anything else in your body. You're trying to keep that hip, the inner thigh opened as much as you can tolerate. And try not to move anything else. You're just hinging that knee open and closed. Good. Push it, push it, push it as far as you can. And control it back. Okay, pause, relax. Great job. Let me know if you have any questions and how you feel afterwards. It really helps to open up that tightness in the front of your hip. Allows you to activate those glutes so much better, get better motion through your hip, better stabilization at your knee.